Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I made this tulip and succulent wreath. It was super easy and these are cheaper options than buying these wreaths already made. So first let's start off with the succulent wreath. First, you're going to need a 12-inch grapevine wreath. I got mine at Walmart. They did have some at the Dollar Tree, but I felt like the Walmart one was a little bit sturdier and nicer looking. So if you want, you can splurge and pay a few dollars more or get the ones from Dollar Tree. And I got all of these succulents from the Dollar Tree as well. I was actually really impressed with how nice their succulents were, and this is the cheapest place I found them. You're also going to need a hot glue gun and some hot glue sticks. That's all you'll need here. So what you're going to do first is remove the stem from the succulent. They're super easy to pull off. I did have an issue with these purple ones. They were kind of coming undone, but what I did was actually hot glue them together. And the succulents and the pots, you could just pull them out, and you actually want to keep them whole because it'll make it easier when you glue them on. So what I like to do here is actually, before I glue it, is kind of put them in a pattern, or I want to see how they look before I start gluing them on. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just playing around with it, and when I get it to look the way I want it to look, then I begin to hot glue. And like I said, for the little ones in the pots, you want to keep that stem pretty long because it's easier to actually just dig it in the wreath, and it's a lot easier. But I do suggest you still hot glue them because these succulents are heavy and they could fall off, so make sure to hot glue them. But yeah. And yes, you guys, I am watching The Bachelor's Women Tell All. I missed the episode the night before, so I was catching up while I was doing these DIYs for you guys. So after I get it to look the way I want it to look, I just start gluing it, and I'm going to put some hot glue on the succulent and also on the wreath. That way it's secured really well. So the bigger succulents are a little bit harder to glue on, so you actually want to hot glue just basically all underneath, so you can make sure it sticks in there because it's a pretty heavy succulent and it can come off. So make sure you just hot glue all of the edges and just underneath it as much as you can. And this is basically what you do the entire time. I just start hot gluing. Just come up with a really cute pattern and a design that you want for your wreath, and it's really that easy. There is no right or wrong way to make this. This entire project cost me about $11 per wreath, which is super inexpensive. I was at Hobby Lobby and I saw a ton of succulent wreaths and they were really expensive, over $25 to $30 a wreath, and I was just not willing to spend that, but I was able to do them under $11 each wreath. It could be cheaper if you did decide to get the wreath from the Dollar Tree. It would be around $8 to $9 to make, which is a lot cheaper, but if you want a nicer wreath, I would suggest getting the one from Walmart and pay $3.88 for it. But yeah guys, this is basically how you get it done. So this is the final look. How cute is that? Next, we're going to be making my absolute favorite, my tulip wreath. So cute. I found how to make this on Pinterest. I will link the Pinterest link down below where I found it. But you're going to need a foam wreath, ribbon, and tulip bushes. I got these at Michael's for super cheap. They were $2 a bush, which is probably the most inexpensive place I found them, and they're pretty good quality and super nice. So yeah, so what I'm doing here is completely optional. Actually, I would suggest you don't do this because it's just a waste of ribbon, to be quite honest. But what I did was just wrap this pink ribbon. I did want to add, you want to get a ribbon that is close to the color that you that your tulips are going to be. So if you decide to do a bluish green tone, you want to get a blue or green ribbon. If you're going to do pinks, get pink, etc. So just get a ribbon that is not that will match the color you're going for. So like I was saying, I think this step is actually not necessary. I don't know why I did this, to be quite honest, but it was just a waste of ribbon, but I'm still showing it to you guys. I think I ended up putting the ribbon too close together. That's why I ran out of ribbon, but I'm just wrapping the ribbon around because I just kind of didn't want that white to show. I just really wanted to make this wreath really nice, and I want it to last for a really long time. I have been looking for tulip wreaths for a very long time, and they are so expensive. I saw them at Michael's for about $50, and I've just seen them online for over $50, and this wreath cost me around $23 to $25 to make, which I know it's not super cheap, but when you compare that to the prices of buying one in store, it is a lot cheaper. As you can see, I ran out of space here. I had no more ribbon left, but that's okay. I was able to make it work anyway. Also, be really, really careful with the hot glue gun. I literally burnt my fingers like a gazillion times. It was insane. So I used like a scissor or something to press on because I was tired of burning my finger. I actually have a finger that's pretty burnt badly. Next, you're going to be removing the tulips from the actual bush. They're all kind of bushed up and bundled in together, so you want to cut them off. I highly suggest you get some wire cutters. I did this with scissors and literally bending it back and forth, and it took a really, really long time. I had 10 of these bushes to do, and this right here is just one of the bushes. So imagine all of that work, and each bush has around 8 to 9 strands. So that was a lot of work. It took me about an hour to do this, but this is basically what it looks like at the end, all of these tulips together. So this is where the fun begins. This is when it gets a little bit harder and tricky, but do not lose patience, you guys. It was a little bit difficult for me at first because you need both hands to do this. Like, this is super, it's not hard to do because once you get into it, it's easy. But at first it was a little bit hard. So you're gonna take the next set of ribbon that you have, the same color that you wrapped the first one in, make sure everything's the same color, and you're gonna grab around 4 strands of tulips. Now you can do any color combo you want. This is just the color combo I picked, and you're going to lay it on top of the ribbon, and you're actually gonna hot glue the bottom, the wreath. You're gonna hot glue the wreath, and you're gonna stick them on there. Now that's not meant to hold them into, it's not meant to glue them on, but it will hold them into place a little bit, and then you're gonna wrap your ribbon around it, and you're gonna just basically loop it around, and you're just gonna follow that same pattern over and over again by just setting your tulips down and then taking the ribbon and just looping it around it. And you're also gonna wanna hot glue the ribbon just so it could be nice and firm, and you want to pull tightly so it can hold the tulips in. The hot glue does take some time to glue on and to dry, so just be patient here. It was a little bit hard for me the first few times, but once you get the hang of it, it is super easy, and like I think it turns out wonderful. So it's totally worth it. And I'm gonna film this slow here so you guys can see step by step what I do, because I feel like it's better to get a visual than me to explain it. So yeah, just take a look at what I'm doing. And what I like about these tulips is that they're very manageable, so you can just move them around, and they won't stick on a certain way, so you can move them around and open them up. And like I said, make sure you pull the ribbon tightly, that way it can secure the tulips. And the more tulips you use, the fuller your wreath will look. Don't be too worried about running out of tulips. I actually had more than enough for this 14-inch wreath. So yeah, just make sure you use a good bundle and just kind of go with a pattern and a color scheme, and it'll look wonderful. So yeah. with whatever extra tulips you have left or fallout, just hot glue them to the parts where you feel aren't full enough or have little gaps, and that should just make it work. And what you could do is actually slide the tulips underneath the ribbon. There should be a little bit of space there, and just hot glue them on as well. So yeah, that's basically what I did. And then what you're going to do is just cut off the ribbon, and you're going to just tuck it under the tulips and just hot glue it on, and the tulips will cover it and you won't even notice it's there. That's why I suggested you get the same color ribbon as the colors you pick for your wreath. That way it all blends in together nicely, and the ribbon actually looks nice and it doesn't look like a weird color on the actual wreath, if that makes any sense. Alright guys, this project was probably the most time consuming, but it was so much fun to make, and it really brought out the creative side of me. I was so proud of myself. I loved how this wreath turned out. I'm going to be using it for summer and spring, and I want to make more colors because I fell in love with it. But that's basically it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments, because I'm going to be turning on my comments for this video. Let me know in the comments if you guys liked how they turned out, and if you do make them, please message me on Instagram and send me a picture. I would love to see how they turn out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!
Keep on driving and driving along the road to never end. Lost my head.